Prabhu when he was in the hospice and also when he was in the hospital. The one thing that actually I learned from him was, so basically what he had was in which there'll be a lot of difficulty to breathe, the way his lung had been damaged. And with that, to speak, it's very difficult because you need to stop in between every now and then to catch your breath. And that really tires you. But even after that, he would be very sincere in his chanting. And he would not do it just because he has to do it. He knew his time was coming to an end. And he said, no, because now I have very less time, I have to increase the rounds. He would get tired, but he would rest for a bit, and the moment he would get some energy, he would just chant. I think towards the end, when I met him, Prabhuji was like, I'm doing 64 rounds, and I said, you'll get more tired if you're doing so many rounds, rest. Just rest so that you can get out of hospital. And he said, no, I have to continue going. So when someone's so sick, literally cannot breathe, he was on oxygen, could do the chanting and was so sincere and had put his whole heart and soul into it. We being in good health, having time in hand, having everything in hand, still we don't do. So, especially like youngsters like me, we waste our time in so many other things and we don't chant. So, I think that was very important learning for me from him. And you can't just do that at the end. You need to build that habit eventually, gradually. And like only when you start, like you can just start by showing gratitude to Krishna every day by small things. You don't need to do something big. Just have a silent gratitude in your heart when you have something you wanted or the day went good. Slowly, the number of times you're remembering him increases. So thinking that eventually, slowly, you'll also chant more. Your chantings will increase. Your sincerity in the chanting will increase. Your love, your prem bhav in chanting will also increase. And gradually you will.
Just remember one thing actually. I went to visit him in hospital once, and Ananda Mohan was very anxious, and he was scared of dying. He was scared, and I remember, was it me and you went to visit him, and I said, how are you feeling, how's your anxiety? He goes, I'm not scared anymore. He says, he's Krishna conscious, he wasn't scared of dying. When we went to visit him in hospital, before he was always scared. He was scared of dying. He was always anxious.
Not because you visited him.
No, because of his Krishna consciousness. It had an experience of Krishna consciousness, and he could see further. He could see past it, and just the fear was gone. And it was such a change from someone who was always scared. He was always anxious. But Krishna consciousness changed that. So.
I think one thing that I learned from it is that, in the gardens in Bhaktivedanta Manor, George Harrison's gardens, there's different stones with different slogans, or not slogans, but, sayings. And when it says, Krishna speaks, it says, I see the heart. So when I think about Ananda, is that, he was a typical miner and Yorkshireman, they're pretty rough at the edges. I mean, I used to be one. I probably still am a little bit as well. But, and he wasn't doing everything perfect. He used to slip up sometimes and come out with things which not so congenial. But, he's always in the right place. And his life was like that, when he was younger, he had a very compassionate nature. And he was in one place called Jump, because he was near Barnsley. And he used to run the working man's clubs there, but it was for all people. And he used to take them everywhere on excursions just for their benefit. So, we don't really know who's a devotee. And, in those 2 years, he really did what a lot of devotees can't do in a lifetime. You know, we were talking about compassion and extending ourselves, but he started a Namahata up. He went out doing books, and you know, he's carrying a battery around with him and a breathing instrument, and he's having to go in a wheelchair. So, you know, he was determined to do something. And, you know, he says if we just do something for Krishna, he appreciates it so much, we get so much benefit. And on that day we went, on that day we went into Barnsley, he was so eager, he set off on his chair. And, you know, he nearly beat us. I thought he was going to kill himself. You know what I mean? He was going so fast on the course. And then when he got there, he was upset because we were taking so much time to get there. Okay, I said, do you want to speak?
Yeah, he always said to me, I'm a rascal, but to be honest, he was a devotee even before he came to the Krishnas, because he actually used to take old boy war, people that fought in the war and they'd lost their friends and had never been able to get back to the battlefield to where the men had dropped and lost them all, and he'd get a minibus full from Barnsley, and he used to, because he was a member of the scooter club, so he used the scooter club, and he was made this honorary person that each year he would take 20, 30 old boys over to where the men had fallen, and then they would pay homage to their friends that they'd lost. So he was a devotee even before he got to us, really. He was serving.
Yeah.
Doing honourable work.
So, you know, we just do a little bit for Krishna like Ananda did, and, you know, it'll make a big difference. Krishna appreciates whatever bit of surrender we can do, and he encourages us like anything. Yes.
I was just going to say, a memory I have when I think of Ananda is how much he just loved being with the devotees.
Yeah.
Like he just wanted to be around devotees. You know, we hear so much about the importance of association, and Ananda was, you know, he knew it, and he just wanted to be, and he was so happy to be with us, wasn't he? He was just, you could see it on his face, you know. So, yeah. Prashant.
The kids.
I know Prashant was really close to Ananda.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Prabhuji was like Ananda Prabhu, like stayed near to me, and I met him in the meetings only, and like he asked me like, could you help me, like, or I want to go to the meetings, and like if you can. So I used to pick him and bring to the meetings whenever he wanted to come. He was a nice guy. Yes, Rob Prabhu said like he never liked like people chanting very fast. He always wanted. He asked me to do 12 rounds. He said, "No, like don't go for 16, but do 12 good rounds." I said like I even struggle for 12 as well. Yeah, I was previously in Swindon, and I was like doing. There was a big sangha there, and I was like also involved in a lot of services, and I was very happy. And like suddenly one day, due to some job-related issues, I have to move to Barnsley, and I wasn't like liking it. Like, why is Krishna doing this to me? Like, I'm like in a good place with a lot of good devotees, a lot of good services here, and in Barnsley, like, no one's there, no service, no temple, nothing is there.
He was saying the same. He said, I'm really annoyed because there's no devotees in Barnsley.
Yeah,
He was saying the same thing.
And I was like, I was praying to Krishna, like, at least give me, if you are like sending me there, and I don't know why, but at least give me some service so that I can do something. Like I was happy at least I was helping a devotee when I met Anand Prabhu, and like I felt really like Krishna like at least given something to me to do. And like yeah, whenever he wanted to like any help or anything to go to meetings, and I used to go with him. And I remember the day before, when the last meeting I chanted, he was like, I went to visit him. What's that house, Prabhu? The name of that place was, I'm forgetting, like where the dying people are kept?
Hospice.
Hospice. Sorry, yeah. When I visited hospice last visit, so that day he didn't chanted it any of his rounds, so I said like, Prabhu, I'm here, can we do some rounds? Like he said, yeah, I wanted to. So I remember the last memory is like I chanted one round with him, and then I left, and after 2 days he passed away. So it was a very nice, at least I chanted one round with him during his last time. That was like really nice. I felt like, well, it's at least we did something. Yeah, and Maharaj also, like one day me and Maharaj also visited. Maharaj tried to give some Bhagavatam or anything. Maharaj was like trying to say some lectures or some lesson to. But that day he was very cranky, not very settled, but it was good. Yeah, so this is just some things from my side.
Haribol.
Would anybody else like to speak?
Okay, I'll share a few of my experiences. So, I remember, Maharaj, if you remember, last year when we went to Rath Yatra in Birmingham, in the train station, you told me that we should do more book distribution like park-like programs. But we were so hesitant, and we did it last year on Geeta Jayanti, I think. And Ananda Prabhu sent few books with Prashant Prabhu and Priti Mataji, and it was nice book distribution. So it started with that. And the last few memories I have is, he was a funny guy. So he used to come to my place for house program and kirtans, and he used to park his car on double yellow lines. And I remember him saying that, oh, it's okay, I've got a sticker, so I can park anywhere. And I remember the kirtan we did in hospital when we all were there. He was so enthusiastic, and whenever we visited him in hospital and hospice, he had his deity there. He made sure to offer them fruits and something to eat and water. So that will stay with me. That I will focus more on deity worship. If someone in that poorly state can do this, surely we can. And today we had really nice time because his deities, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, were there in book distribution. That's all from my side.